It turns out when Inventor crashed, I lost pretty much everything I did after deleting the left and right side. That means I had to mount the screws properly, which this time at least they're in the right direction. I had to replace the mount pieces, get them left and right. I had to create the new spacer piece, and then draw the leg in. I did make one change. I made this line parallel to the back of the screen because I figured it looks a little nicer. I can even make a little bump here that sort of raises out to sort of touch it, or put a piece of foam pad on here to make it so it rests nicely against this laptop screen. But that's good for right now. So now I've actually drawn 2 lines. It doesn't matter where these are. I just want to cut across the center because I'll block the bolt. So as long as they're inside, I can now extrude. I can extrude this shape going the other way to that side. So this makes a nice foot, but it's going to be really narrow. So now what I want to do is I'm going to put a semicircle back here based on this piece right here. Probably just past this point, and taper it up here to make sort of a larger foot that sits off the back of the screen. So I'm going to start a sketch on the bottom here. I'm going to rotate the view, and then I'm going to draw a arc. Project geometry so I can see this line here. Actually, I want to see this entire foot. I'm now going to draw an arc that goes above here. Oh, let's try that again. Which helps draw the arc in the right order. So up, across, then up last. And I want this point to be on this line, and this point, nope, and this point to be on this line. That way I don't come past there. And I want that horizontal to this and this horizontal to this. I also want the center line of this line to be centered with the thing here. Now, if I bring this down, it's going to make the arc wider, and I think I want the arc just below there, so we end up with like a wider than half circle. In fact, let's double check this dimension because I don't want this dimension to get too out-sized. Let's go 4.5 inches. And now I'm going to draw a line between these two ends. And now we're going to extrude this whole profile going upwards, but we're going to taper it at some angle. So we're going to take and go up 6 inches, but we're going to taper it negative 20 degrees. Too much. 15. 10. And that looks good. We're just going to bring that up. So let's go 5. The shape looks good. We're just going to find the right value. Oh, that's going to follow. So the problem is it's following this flat edge, but it needs to follow this inner edge. So I'm going to hit cancel. And we are going to, because it always extrudes perpendicular to our work plane. So we're going to actually construct a work plane. Actually, that's fine. We'll just cut it off. So we'll extrude it and then do another pass to cut everything out. We're going to go upwards and do -5 and not worry about the side right now. We're just going to get that. Oh. Profile. That's tapering. Let's try 7 inches. Let's go -3 degrees. Let's go -2 degrees. So 3 degrees, and let's go 8 inches, or 7 point, or let's go 8 inches for any sort of my max build volume. Let's do distance 2. We don't want to go past there. And we'll taper it to make it miss some. So hit OK. And we're going to start a sketch on this surface again. And I'm going to reconstruct this line by drawing a line starting here. And I'm making big cutting blades. So the shape doesn't matter so much as long as I come in and catch everything I need. So I'm going to put this line on this point here. Oh. These lines are top of each other. And then we're going to extrude, and we're just going to cut bidirectionally everywhere. Okay. And that gives me a nice seat behind there. And now we're going to add some fillets. We're going to put a big fillet here and a big fillet on the other side. That's going to make this blend a little bit. So we're going to put like a 0.5. It's going to take a second to calculate. Nope, it won't do a 5. Let's do 2.5. Let's go 2. Apply. Edit. 0.25. Apply. And then we're going to fillet this edge here and this edge here by a much smaller radius, so probably 0.1, 0.05, 0.025. Let's try 0.035. That looks good. And we're going to do the same thing on both sides of this. Actually, we don't want that there. Because that's going to look weird here because this transition, because that's a single edge, and that's going to be lined up with our actual print. So let's apply that. And let's see how we look. The overall print looks pretty good, just much larger. It's a big honking piece of plastic. We are probably going to need some supports, but that's okay. Now I could simplify this by taking, let's try shelling to try to cut out a lot of print. Shell. Oh, we're going to delete this fillet here. I'm going to fillet the back edge. A 0.05. Let's try 0.1. That looks good. And then let's try shelling now. We're going to go 0.15. 0.2. And that looks fine. I have a little bit of a pointy bit there, but that should give me a much lighter shape. And let's put that part so it's still going to be hollow, but so it's not that weight hanging off, but it's still acting as a support. So basically I shelled, but it still exists. Oh, I cut it away, which is fine. So I have a big scoop shape thing. I could even probably remove this flat part, but now this is going to bolt in. If you're looking from the back, this is sort of supporting the whole thing and giving me a lot of structure. Let's see if it's printable. So I'm going to file. So I'm going to jump back into this piece. Now I should go put the registration marks back in, and I might. But first I wanted to see if this is something that's big, the size I can actually print on a printer. So save. Save a copy as STL. And let's open up Prusa Slicer. And let's see if this is actually something that is printable in the volume we have. I might be able to just get creative and make it, because it's not the full width. Like if I measure, I'll just do it in here. File, plus, leg spacer, open. And it looks like we're okay. Yep. So I'm going to take and put this on, let's try putting it on the, nope. So that's just too tall for our printer. But maybe if I put it on the front surface, and then we can support. Let's try rotating it. Let's rotate a little more. Think we just barely fit. Now there's going to be a bunch of support in here. From build plate only. Let's see how bad it is. Okay. We're currently out of bounds. So let's try twisting it a little more. So I'm going to rotate this shape. I'm going to rotate it a little more this way. Let's take a look. Do we go out of bounds with the supports? Nope, we are literally as big as we can be, but there's a lot of waste product. And I definitely need to add that back in, because those holes are making this very, very narrow in places. If we're sitting on print, we want to try to make sure it's right. So I wonder if we could do better by putting it on its face and tipping it slightly over itself. So let's try putting it here. We're going to, and then we're going to rotate this whole thing on this plane. Oh, we're going to Control Z, Control Z. Let's put it all the way back to the first orientation. I'm going to place it on this surface. And now let's take and tilt this forward. So I'm going to rotate, and I'm going to rotate it with the red arrow. We are just barely. Okay. That has to do with that thin print area, so that's fine. We will fix that before I print it, but I'm going to need to turn on brim. That's a lot of support, though. That almost seems reasonable. I do have some ugliness inside that area, but that's not terrible. That actually seems not bad at all. So that is the way I'm going to print it, but I'm first going to go fix the spacers. And that's just like I did before. I'm just going to take and copy those two sketches over and fill in that gap, which I'll show once this is printed. I don't think you need to see me do that. So this is the spacer leg, and I'll test print it, and we'll see if it works. I might do a test print of just this top area here to see how that affects the overall shape of it, in case I want to thin that out a little bit if it feels like too thick or whatever. But first, I need to fix this registration marks. So I'm going to stop sharing, and next video I'll have this ready to print.